If you're new here, welcome. My name is Brittany Morgan, and today we're going to be doing a review and a walking tour of the Celebrity Solstice from Sydney, Australia up to Honolulu, Hawaii over the course of 17 nights and 18 days. So first things first, let's talk about the ship. The Celebrity Solstice was built in 2007, making it one of their older models in the fleet. The capacity is 2,852 passengers and 1,250 crew members. I do find the decor on this ship a little bit dated, but there are definitely elements of elegance all throughout the ship. There are particular areas that are really nice and a little bit more modern. So let's go ahead and tour the ship so I can give you guys a little overview of what it's like being aboard and what types of amenities you can expect. So we're going to start this tour going down the hallway and over to where the elevators are. At all of the elevator stations, you will get this little map that shows you what is on each floor, as well as an actual pictogram of the ship itself, so you have a better idea of where everything is. This is especially handy when you are first getting onto the ship and learning where all the cool spots are. I thought it was really cool that all the elevators were glass, so you could see when you're going up and down where you're going. It just makes it a little more interesting. We are up on the 15th floor here now, looking over the walking track and over to the solstice deck, or deck number 16. You'll have a few seating spots up here. There usually weren't many people over here. You'll see that there is also a little tennis court, basketball court, squash court, whatever you want. You can play a bunch of different sports in this area, so that is definitely a good option if you would like to do that and take advantage of that space. This is at the front of the ship, so this is another really great spot to go and take in the views when you come into ports. And now we're moving over to the lawn club area. So you have a little putting green over here, and then there is a big green space, which you're not really supposed to walk across, but you can rent out these little gazebo type things. I think they're called the alcoves. They're quite expensive. They were like hundreds of dollars to rent them out. On the same level at the back of the boat is the sunset bar. This is such a great spot to come. Take a lounge seat and just relax, look out at the stunning views surrounding you. This spot was usually quite busy and bustling later in the afternoons around sunset time. Everybody likes to just go out, have a little drink, and relax at this bar because it is so scenic and beautiful. And we personally did not have the drinks package, so here's a quick couple of shots of how much each beer or beverage cost. And again, the views were just absolutely stunning. This is such a great spot to come read a book, just relax, or like I said, have a drink, hang out with new friends, meet some new people. And now moving on to the Ocean View Cafe. So this is your standard buffet style spot. You can get tons of different types of food here. Most nights they would have different things going on, like different themes. They would have like a Mexican night, Italian night, French night. There were some spots that repeated like the food over and over again, but I would say the majority of the food was really good. And you do have complimentary ice, water, coffee, tea, and certain juices here as well. So again, if you didn't splurge and go for the drinks package, you can also go ahead and buy individual drinks as you would like them. I didn't really have any real complaints about the food. You had enough variety that you could switch it up every single night. It did get a little bit bland when we were like deep into sea days, which kind of makes sense because obviously they're not getting any fresh food while we're at sea. But the desserts were really good. All of the potato dishes were amazing. The salads were good. The fried chicken, the pasta was really good. And all of the breakfast foods were amazing as well. There are other places you can eat too, but we're going to cover that in just a minute. So going out to the back of the Ocean View Cafe, you have the Ocean View Bar. Again, tons of seating out here if you wanted to go outside, if it's not too windy or too hot. You can grab a beer, have a seat, watch the sunset, enjoy a little cocktail if you want that, or just enjoy your meal out on the back of the boat. And it's just an absolutely stunning place to relax. Now heading over to the Mast Grill, which I believe is on deck number 15. It is just one floor up from the pool deck. They had burgers, french fries, and they were honestly really, really good. Sitting out in the sun, that was wonderful. This is one of those areas that's just usually completely packed when it's a sea day. Everybody wants to sit out in the sun, hit the pools, hit the hot tubs. You can see there are 2 pools here. One is more shallow than the other, and then 4 hot tubs. And it was such a beautiful way to end the evening, going into the hot hot tubs at night because they do light up. So that is something I definitely recommend checking out. And there's tons of seating, tons of different spots to grab a towel and lay out. Our ship felt like it was pretty close to capacity, so there were some days where it was hard to find a seat out here. But again, there's so many seats in different spots on the ship that you can definitely find a spot. There is also a pool bar back in this area if you wanted to go and grab a drink. On the same deck level, you can go into this kind of solarium type of space. It has an indoor pool, tons of seating again. So if you want to kind of feel like you're outside, go into the pool, but not be out in the sunshine. This is a really great space. And it was always very just like calm and lovely in here, very humid. It does lead into where the spa and the gym are too on the same level. So we'll just do a really quick tour of the gym. I personally spent a few days in here. I found it actually helped me with getting used to the ship's movement as we were sailing. They also have classes in this room over here, and you will get daily planners that will tell you when those are being done. But yeah, tons of cardio machines, lots of towels, lots of just weight machines. So you definitely will not be missing out on a gym session if you are on this ship. The gym area also has this private little front balcony, which I've never seen anyone out here. So this is another kind of a tip if you want to go lay out in the sun somewhere more private. This could be a really good option. Now back looking down towards the library and the card room, we're going to hit the library first. So this is a really cool spot. This is one of the coolest spots on the ship, I think. Grab a book off the shelf, sit and read. And then on the floor just below, right below the library, is the card room. This place was usually really, really busy. Lots of people going down there, playing cards, meeting new friends, hanging out. And they have games that you could borrow as well. So another great option on those rainy or days that you just don't really want to go outside. Now heading down to the 5th floor, this is where you're going to find all of your specialty restaurants. The first one, Sushi on 5. We did not end up going to any of these, but it looked like the sushi place was really popular and really good. I do kind of wish we had checked it out, but we didn't want to spend any extra money, so we didn't end up doing that. And walking through the Cafe El Baccio or Baccio, this spot was always very, very busy. You've got some like specialty coffees, specialty teas and drinks, little kind of cafe style pastries and things like that. And then we'll lead back into the Ensemble Lounge, which is in the same area on the same level. You walk through this kind of forest-like area that has nature sounds going. Pretty funky, pretty different. A cool spot nonetheless. And then leading into the lounge, this kind of dated purple style decor. This was really not my jam. Like, we did not spend any time down here. I believe there is Michael's Club down here, which is like an exclusive club. If you're part of that, this is where that is if you're interested. But if you wanted to go to one of the other specialty restaurants, you can just walk through this lounge, and that is where you will find the Silk Harvest restaurant, the Tuscan Grill, and Blue. So you can just come down here, take a look at their menus if you don't want to look on your phone, because you can do that as well. But it will give you an overview of what kind of dishes they have, what the prices are. If you don't have this like included in your trip package, you can pay extra and dine a little more fancy than you normally would. There is another dining area that is more formal, which is included in the base fare cruise, and we're going to cover that in just a minute here. But going back towards the restaurants, you can see there's a lot of nice artwork over here. On Deck 5, you can also access the Solstice Theater. So this is where you're going to find all your nightly shows at 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock typically. We saw a really talented piano man. We saw a mentalist, I guess you would call it. We saw this cool rock show with lots of dancing and music, and it was just a really nice space to go and spend the evening. I personally enjoyed all of the shows that we saw. I thought the entertainment was really top tier, really good. I did hear a few people kind of complain that most of the acts were singers and that it would have been nice if it was a little bit more mixed, but it was always a good turnout and there were always places to sit. This place was never like fully packed. And on the same level, you'll find some of your luxury shopping options. We didn't shop in any of these spots, but it is there if you want to check it out. Now going down to floor number 4, this is where you're going to find the main, more elevated dining area, the Grand Epernay. You can make reservations for this place. We ended up selecting anytime dining, which I highly recommend. It means that you can go on a more flexible schedule because there is early dining and late dining, which really does restrict you to what time you can actually go into this restaurant. So as soon as you possibly can, make sure you select anytime dining so that you have a little bit more flexibility. I thought this space was really nice, really elegant, more white tablecloth. It's not really my partner and I's style, but if this is your style, definitely check it out. I recommend going at least once during your trip. If you can get a window seat, obviously that's amazing. You can come here for lunch or dinner. And something to note is they usually have a dress code. So these are the places that you'll have to get a little more formal in order to dine there. The food was really good. It wasn't necessarily any better than the Ocean View Cafe buffet style place, but I was really glad that we got to check it out. This is Cellar Masters over here. So this is like a sports bar / whiskey bar. They were even playing hockey when we were on the ship, which was amazing. We didn't end up grabbing a drink here, but it seemed like a really cool spot. And over to the cocktail bar. This place was always quiet during the day. I mean, it's closed, of course. Later in the evenings, they would have like martini flights, and it seemed like it was one of the hot spots to be. There were always people hanging out in this lounge, having different cocktails, having different martinis, just getting to know each other and having a good time. A really cool spot to hang out later in the night. And then moving on from this area is the Quasar room, I want to say. I think it becomes like a dance club later in the evening. We never saw it that way, but they do have like trivia in this area sometimes and different events. This is another bar that was in the same area. Again, we did not spend any time over here. I think you could do like cocktail mixing classes at this area. But then going over to the Fortunes Casino, we spent a little bit of time here. We walked through, they had table games, tons of slots, and we aren't big gamblers, so we didn't utilize this space a whole lot. But if you're into gambling, if that's something you like to do, you have a ton to pick from. Now looking down at the main foyer area, again, we did not spend any time down here. I believe the shore excursion and guest services desks are down there. And I did want to show you this little booklet, or these booklets that you get on a daily basis in case you're not big on smartphones or having the app on your phone, you're just like not interested in doing that. You will get this every single day. It will give you a full list, a full breakdown of all of the activities they have going on that day. You can check what restaurants are open. Sometimes it'll say like what their like theme for the night is. It'll give you just a bunch of different tips for whatever areas you're going to next. These were handy. I did enjoy reading these every night, even though I still had the phone app, which was very handy because it'll walk you through the same things. It'll give you a full breakdown calendar-wise by hour on what's going on, where on the ship. If you wanted to go ahead and book an excursion for your next destination, you can do that through the app as well. You could also go to each restaurant's menu and check it out before committing to anything. You can make reservations on the app. You can see a floor plan of the ship. You can see every single level of the ship and what's on each level. So this is a really good reference in case you were just wondering where something was or what was on someone's menu or what was going on that day. Super handy to have both methods because I know not everyone loves using the smartphone. It is worth noting that this particular ship has Starlink, which means the internet was actually quite decent. We were able to FaceTime and video call people while we were in the middle of the ocean and we had absolutely no issues. So I wanted to give you guys just a quick little room tour. We were in room 6265 on the 6th level. We had a veranda room, which was really quite spacious, had tons of storage. We did have quite a bit of luggage with us. We were able to fit all of our suitcases underneath the bed, which was fantastic. The little seating area was a great space to just lounge and watch a little bit of TV. I think it was well worth it to get the veranda room. The bathroom was a really good size. Again, tons of storage, like more than we needed for sure. The sink was a little small and the shower again was a little small. The shower pressure wasn't amazing. We did have some plumbing issues in the room as well, but they were fixed really quickly and that was fantastic. Overall, I think the cruise was really good. The food was great. The amenities were pretty good. The ship is older and is a little bit dated and there were a lot of activities that we did not participate in. It was a great way for us to make our journey back to North America after living in the Southern Hemisphere for the last year. I can't say I would take this cruise again or that I would cruise again in the future, but it was definitely a great experience and I highly recommend it if you love to cruise. I hope this helped you plan your trip or helps you make a decision in whether or not you want to take this cruise, and I will see you really soon in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.